Hello bros, Aegislash strikes again. My first time channel member suggested playing Aegislash and here it is. I hope you enjoy it and learn something. This video will show you how the Wide Guard Sacred Sword combo and the Wide Guard Shadow Claw combo work in the real game. In comparison, this build is good against CC Pokemon, but the only negative moveset of this build is that you can't return to shield form once you use your sword form, compared to the Iron Head Shield, where you can return to shield form after you use the sword form. Anyway, the tips for using this build are to always stay in your shield form when entering team fights and wait for the opportunity to use your sword form. Be patient always, bros. Timing is the key in this Pokemon. The best way to time your sword attack is to know the moveset of every Pokemon on the enemy side. For example, when there's an enemy Pikachu, wait for it when it uses its Volt Tackle. Don't let Pikachu use the Volt Tackle when you're in shield form because for sure you will die instantly. You need to tank the damage in shield form always because once they use all the moves in you, that's when you use all the moves in you, that's when you use your sword to attack, which is the Sacred Sword. If you're in low health, don't risk yourself using the sword form. Try to heal up using the Wide Guard, and when it's enough, you can use your sword form again. Shedinja dolls are also great items to Aegislash when using the sword form to wait for the shield form to wait for the shield form to wait for the shield form to CD. It increases your survivability in battle and makes you more tanky in the game. Moving forward, Sacred Sword is good against tanks because it lowers the defense of the enemy when using this moveset, but the difference is that this build requires accuracy compared to Shadow Claw, where it's a sure hit if you just hit your opponent with a boosted attack shield and use Shadow Claw quickly. As you've seen, in Sacred Sword, there's a hitbox that has an arrow on it, which indicates where you should hit your opponent in order for the moves to be effective and increases your burst damage against the enemy. It is also good against the backline because you can reach it using the moveset, which has a pretty good range compared to Shadow Claw. Just remember that you should hit your Sacred Sword accurately and be careful to always pop up your combo. While the Shadow Claw has a lot of burst damage and is easy to use compared to the Sacred Sword, the only problem is that it lacks range. It's a sure hit, but you need to be closer to the opponent to deal all the damage because Shadow Claw has 3 dashes that need to be hit in order to obtain the maximum damage. Also, the Wide Guard and Sacred Sword are a perfect fit for that because once the Wide Guard is finished, it pushes back the enemy. And you've noticed that the Sacred Sword has a small gap on its moveset, just like where the Wide Guard pushes the enemy back. That's the perfect indication and distance to use your Sacred Sword. It's just like an exact measurement and distance to it. While using the Shadow Claw, after you use its Wide Guard, you need to hit your enemy to be closer to them. And that's when you use your Shadow Claw to obtain its full damage. I repeat, after Wide Guard, use the Sacred Sword. If you're running Shadow Claw, after Wide Guard uses its boosted shield attack to get closer, use your Shadow Claw in order to gain the maximum damage output from it. Moving on to its Unite move, after using Wide Guard, you can pop up your unit because it's a sure hit ability if you just hit your Wide Guard and push the enemy correctly. You can also use it to surprise your enemy and control the objectives in the map, but be careful, bros. You really need the accuracy when using Unite, so play it strategically. Overall, the comparison to this build depends on your playstyle. If you want more damage to defenders, use Sacred Sword. If you want assassins, use Shadow Claw. Thank you, bros, and stay hydrated as always.
I've been trying to fight the demons in my mind. I'll prevail with every battle if I'm right. Guess my aim was off, the target's out of sight. Would I be better if I left it all behind? 'Cause we could find a way, we could find a way, find another Artificial love, we just make it up. Cause reality will never be good enough. And even if it was, we just mess it up. Cause we already are addicted to the rush. I never meant to fall. All I wanted was a touch of artificial love. We just make it up. Cause reality will never be good enough. And even if it was, we just mess it up. Artificial love. Artificial love. Artificial love. We just make it up. Cause reality will never be good enough. We just mess it up. Cause we already lost. Addicted to the rush. Never meant to fall. All I wanted was a touch. Cause we already lost. Addicted to the rush. Never meant to fall. All I wanted was a touch. Artificial love. Artificial love. Artificial love. We just make it up. Cause reality will never be good enough. And even if it was, we just mess it up. How can you know what's in our mind? Good and bad is such a thin line. How can you know what's in our mind? When often hate, no regrets, and love to see. Artificial love. Artificial love. Artificial love, we just make it up. Cause reality will never be good enough. And even if it was, we just mess it up. Artificial love. Artificial love. Artificial love. Artificial love. Be quiet. I hear the thunder that comes from far away. It's like a voice in my head. Oh, this world heart, this world heart, it got struck and leaves the sky. Oh, this world heart, it got struck and leaves the sky. Cause it's full of heart, and it fills your heart. It's no longer the same. Cause it's full of heart, and it fills your heart. It's no longer the same. We need to get out of here. no longer the same. 'Cause it's all over, and it frees your heart. It's no longer the same. We need to get up here. I can't take it anymore. My mind's about to go to war. I need someone to save me from myself, to hear me cry when I call out for help. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Like a volcano. Blow it up like a volcano. What you do, what you do, what you do to me. Can't you see what it means when you're setting free? What you do, what you do, what you do to me. Can't you see what it means when you're setting free? Another day to lose control. There's a fire in my bones. My sight gets blurry, pushing back